Hello and welcome to IABM TV. Today I'm joined by Ciaran Doran, Executive Vice President at Pixel Power, a Roden Schwartz company. Ciaran, welcome to IABM TV.
Thank you very much, Ben.
So, Ciaran, I've just read about Showtime Pixel Power. Can you tell us about this?
Well, Ben, Showtime Pixel Power is our version of replacing what we should have been doing this week. We should have been in Las Vegas. We should have been on a trade show floor with all of our friends in the industry, listening to our customers. And we sat down when we worked out when NAB was cancelled and started to thinking, what is the most important thing that we're probably going to miss? Yes, of course, it's the nice time in Las Vegas and it's the chance to meet up with our colleagues in the industry. But the most important thing for our customers and for us is to be able to listen to them and to understand what their desires and goals are over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, how they want to change their workflows, for example, or how they want to modernize a playout facility or improve their graphics in playout, for example. And if we don't actually get the chance to listen one-on-one by bringing that customer in contact with our technologists, with our development engineers, and with our management team, then both they and we are going to lose out in the longer term. So we've created what we call Showtime Pixel Power, which is a version of a Showtime. After all, we're in the entertainment business, aren't we? So Showtime is about bringing together opportunities for our technologists to listen to our customers on a one-to-one basis. It's a very simple concept. We work with our customers. We arrange individual bespoke appointments where we can bring technologists looking at master control and playout, virtualized workflows, automated workflows, graphics and branding and things like that, and actually get the chance to spend that hour or half hour like we would have done at a trade show.
So it sounds to me, Ciaran, like you've kind of developed something quite different to what other people are doing. It seems that a lot of other people are doing webinars. Do you not see the value in those?
Webinars are important, and don't get me wrong, it's important that we put out educational webinars about our technologies and about what we're doing and how our products and solutions have evolved, just like we would do in terms of a presentation at a trade show. But we've got a feeling that perhaps people are being bombarded a little bit by hour-long PowerPoint presentations over Zoom or whatever other application. And it's not that we don't want to educate and help update a wider audience. We're going to do that. We are working on that. But we felt it's important to actually get the chance to listen to our customers one-to-one as a first base. So the webinars are coming. We're probably going to make them a little bit shorter and a lot more punchier because just like at a trade show, our customers are really busy trying to get around a number of different vendors for different applications. So what we want to do is to make as best use of their time and our time as possible. So yes, they're going to come in due course.
Okay, excellent. And so, Ciaran, we've spoken a number of times on trade show floors and in TV studios, and yet we're both here talking from our homes. How are you getting along working remotely, and how do you think your customers are dealing with it?
Well, for me personally, I think my family think that I'm just in seventh heaven. I'm working in my home office like many of us are. I've got my many of our customers are. I've got my turbo trainer over there for my bike, and I've got my rowing machine, and I've got my office. It's perfect. However, working remotely is quite stressful sometimes. I don't know about you, but I hear from my colleagues and also from our customers that back-to-back conference calls are actually an awful lot more stressful than the number of meetings that might take place in a facility. But what I'm also hearing from customers is that I'm no longer being tied up in not so much boring meetings which they were needing to be part of, but maybe didn't need to be there for the full hour. So we're finding customers much more happy to engage with us on a half hour or a 20-minute basis to get to the point on a particular subject. How's it working out for our customers and our staff? Well, in many ways, it's business as usual, even though it's a little bit less usual or more unusual. Our support team are supporting customers remotely, just like they have done in the past. We have access to all our facilities in the Cambridge headquarters, and we're able to log into those pieces of equipment remotely, either to help with customers who've got problems with a deployment with a piece of equipment, or actually to demonstrate remotely. But demonstrating remotely by sharing screens, that's not something that's particularly new. What's really interesting here is that our customers are actually using our virtualized and remote connectivity for live. They're actually taking the equipment that we have worked with them to deploy over the last couple of years And they're now in that position of being able to have operators in many different remote locations. It's one thing to be able to control a playout or a master control system from another of the broadcaster's own facilities. That's great. That sounds like, okay, I don't operate it from this particular city. I operate it from my other location in another city. That's fine. But what we've been able to do with those broadcasters is to help them immediately switch to operating from home. So they have their operators and their technicians and their master control operators able to control the playout from home offices like studies like this, or changed bedrooms, or front living rooms, as we've seen in some of the videos that we've watched online.
Okay, so, and Ciaran, these are challenging times for broadcasters and also for manufacturers. How do you see the next few years panning out?
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? I think we're all asking this very same question in our social and personal worlds. Are we going to travel as much? Are we going to need to travel into the city to go to work as much? Or are we going to get use the opportunity that this has also provided us, even though it's a very difficult time? I think there's a number of aspects to this. It's a very challenging time for broadcasters. It's a very challenging time for manufacturers. I think the landscape is going to be different next year and the year after. There's possibly going to be not as many companies around. We need to work hard to survive through this. But you know, Pixel Power is part of a bigger family now. Pixel Power is part of the Roland Schwartz organization, which has been here for 85 years. 87 years, 1933. So it has the strength to actually weather a storm like this, I believe, and keep us in a nice, strong position. We're here as still a family-owned company, still a privately owned organization. And I think that will help us in the longer term. As for our customers, we're going to be here throughout the whole of this, right through into next year and the year after, and there for them, regardless of what the weather brings us.
Yeah, I think there's definitely interesting times to come, Ciaran. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Ben, for the opportunity.
You can find out more about everything we've discussed today at pixelpower.com.